Cash flow is king. Now, these are credit cards, and in America, we use credit cards as cash. I'm currently here with my son Jaden and George, and we're in the backyard of one of our properties. And today, I want to discuss with you how to get those drips of income, those cash flowing from your properties in one day without going broke, without spending too much money. Because why? When we try to get the cash flow, it would either require value add, which means renovation, and the points that I'm going to share with you today are things that will not cost more cash flow, more money. Why? Because these are the things that I've already used, and Jaden wants to be in the video a lot. And these are the things that I've already deployed without spending too much money. So, how to get that cash flow from your property. So number one, when we buy properties, when we buy apartments, what comes with it? It comes with the land, and this is where I am right now. And what I've done over the years is that if you're in a great location, not only do you get the rents from your property, not only do you get the cash flow from your property, but you can also get cash flow if you have parking spaces, if you're located in a great neighborhood or a busy neighborhood that you have hospitals, you have other commercial spaces that would consider parking as a prime. So you can rent it out either to the business owner, or you can rent it out to the employees of that commercial space. Or in like my case, I rent out my parking spaces to my tenants because they can walk to the hospital. And why? Because I'm very close to the hospital. I'm just 1 minute to 5 minutes walking distance to the hospital. Now, if my tenants drive, there is a parking space available in the hospital, but they have to walk 15 minutes away. And so my place, my parking space is much closer. So that's the second. One is the rent from your property. Second is the parking space. So that doesn't cost a lot of money, right? When we don't do a lot of, you may have to spend 2 B stones to get it paved so it's not muddy when it's raining. But 2 B stones for one truckload, 5-tonners, will cost me around about $300. And that's good for, 2 to 3 parking spaces. So that's second. Third point that I would like to share with you, how to get cash flow in one day without spending too much money in your property. Third is the expenses. We have to consider the expenses: water, sewer, garbage, lawn care, snow removal. So these are the things that I bill back to my tenants. Water, sewer, garbage, lawn care, and snow removal. I bill it back to them. Why? Because I provide these services, especially the lawn service, the lawn care, and the snow. So those are the services that I bill back to my tenants. So that's how to get the cash flow in one day without spending too much money. And the fourth thing I would like to share with you, which I've also deployed, basically for our own personal use, and that's why we're here in our backyard, is we've deployed using the land. Now I'm kind of in a hill right now, so it's sloping downwards. As you can see, that's my truck, and this is the hill up here. So this land is not flat. However, we try to reuse all the land. So what we are doing right now, how to get cash flow in your property without spending in one day, without spending too much money, is if you go to the grocery, how much do you think a cabbage would cost? A cabbage would cost about $3 or $4, right? So now, this I deploy right now to my family, to my own personal consumption. But you can also think of it big scale, especially if you have a big land where you can produce crops and you can sell it to the market. So for here, for example, this is cabbage. This is planted by my father-in-law, and these are delicious cabbages. So now we don't have to go to the grocery. Why? Because we make our own produce. We grow our own products here. So that's cabbage, and there's some more cabbages in here. That's another cabbage, and this is that's a seed that's used for spices. What is this, Mingyan, George? chive. That's chive. So my father-in-law planted that chive, and now I have here another cabbage that's eaten by some animal. And here, this is something new that we just recently, my father-in-law planted. And look, this is the first time I've seen that okra plant actually grow up that way. You see this? These are okra and they are delicious. I love okras. So what we usually do is we eat them fresh, and then we can also store them in the freezer for future use. So if you buy a pack of okra, it's probably around $5.99 and for just a few pieces. Now let me show you what other vegetables we have in this garden, which is just right there. It's just my apartment. Oh, look at this beautiful flower here. That's the okra flower. And more cabbages in here. Wow. And this is, what is this, George? This purple thing.
Eggplant.
Oh, that's eggplant. That's an eggplant flower. Ooh, eggplant. I love eggplants. Oh, let me show you the eggplant. It's still a baby. Right there. The eggplant. And this is, what is this, George? This
I don't know.
well, that's
Edible.
that's some chives probably. I don't know, but I'm not I don't have the green thumb. But this is rhubarb. This thick thing is called a rhubarb. And I know we have some tomatoes in here. So I hope you learned something. I think I've shared 5 points how to get cash flow in your property in one day without spending too much money. So to recap, number 1 is when you have a property for rent, you want to use other things in your land that you can get cash flow without spending too much money. So number 1 is the garage. You can rent out the garage. Second is if you have parking spaces and you're close to a hospital or some commercial center, you can rent out that too. Third is you build back your water, your sewer, your garbage, your lawn, and snow to the tenant. Fourth is if you have that extra land, you can plant your own vegetable garden as well. And now, instead of spending $100 in the grocery store every week or every 2 weeks, now you can save. That is cash flow. Why? Because instead of the money going to the grocery, now it's going to you. So I'm able to do this because of the properties I bought, and they're very close to my house. They're very close to me and to my work. So that's why I'm able to visit my property, visit my plantation, and then pick the vegetables here in my garden, and then I can bring them home. It's like going to the grocery, but better, because why? It's organic, it's fresh, and I can eat them fresh. And now I'm spending time bonding with my kids, and they're helping me. The asset kids are helping me save that money. So what do I do with that money? Invest that money, grow that money, make that money work harder for me. So if you want to know more about what I do, I will be doing a free live webinar first Friday in October at 1 p.m. US Eastern Time. If I'm not mistaken, that's October 7, but that's the first Friday in October at 1 p.m. US Eastern Time. There's a free general admission. I will give you 15 minutes of question and answer. Now, if you want to have more questions, more answers to your questions where I tailor it to you, to your needs, come join me in the VIP experience. It's $195 for that one-on-one VIP experience. So let's go, physicians. Wealth cannot wait. Cash flow is king. Let us go.